Have we started?
We've started, mate.
Oh, where have we started? Well, welcome to another episode of The Hockey and Us. We're at a new venue today, aren't we?
We are at a new venue.
Yeah, your house.
My house.
It's a little bit bigger, and we've decided to give it a go. Get more people in,
Do we
maybe
want to
if
do
we
this, my good friend Will? This
Well,
my good
okay,
friend
we'll
Danny?
do. Yeah, I forgot that. This is my good friend Will.
And this is my good friend Danny.
And who have we got today, Will?
We've got Jamie on from Halt and Heal. He's all the way from Skegness. He's an ex-addict, alcohol and drugs, now helping people throughout Skegness, and and
all with mental health issues and
all
stuff
mental
like that.
health, everything like that. We booked him on in August. He agreed to come on. I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah, and he's a really nice guy, and talking about his experience and how he's bettered himself and how every day is a challenge, but he's getting there, and
I think
seems like a top bloke to me.
You know, if we help one person out just through doing this podcast, then job done.
Yeah, brilliant.
Enjoy it.
Thank you. Hello, welcome to The Hockey and Us. This is my good friend Will.
My good friend Danny.
And we have Jamie here from Halt and Heal.
Hi.
And,
welcome along, Jamie.
Welcome along, Jamie. Shake of hands.
Thank you very much.
Top man,
We've explained the rules 30-10, and what we're going to do, we're going to go nearest the ball, see who goes first. What do you reckon?
Go for it.
So
Should we let our guest go first?
Yeah, we'll let our guest go first. Bless him, he hasn't had much of a practice.
So just one dart?
One dart, and
Go
we'll
on
see who goes. Here we go. Go on, Jamie. Well, that's all right there.
Do you want me to go next?
I'll go next. That's good.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Beginner's luck, I think.
Yeah. Oh, he's beaten me. Dear, oh dear.
Will do.
Any good shot, I think.
Straight in the middle, I reckon.
No, I can't see that happening.
I can.
That has never happened.
Oh.
Well, right up the order, I'm last.
That's me. That's
Look
Will.
at that. Jamie. Oh, I'm last.
Danny.
Oh dear.
So good journey, Jamie?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Who's
About
on
2 hours, 45 minutes, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's your one.
Thank you very much.
So you are Halt and Heal.
I'm Halt and Heal, yeah.
And how did Halt and Heal start?
It's a long story, really. Like I say, hi everyone, my name's Jamie, and I'm an addict, as I've told you. And I think if I look back, you know, on my life and my childhood, I think I was probably born, you know, with this addict kind of gene. Because if I look back, I was kind of I had like an obsession of the mind. So I'd be obsessing about toys, gadgets. You know, I used to circle Christmas presents in the Argos catalogue. You know, it used to be like that back in the day, like in the summer holidays. And then I'd get the toy, and then then I'd get it, and then I'd be on to the next thing. And I'd just be relentless until I got something. And then obviously as I got older, it turned from all right stuff to drink. Really, that was the first. That was my first thing that kind of grabbed hold of me.
Here we go. Go on, Jamie.
Hello.
Go on, Jamie. Oh, there you go.
Do you know what?
That's free, mate.
I've never ever done that before.
Yeah, well,
never done that before.
There you go. That's a brilliant start. I'll put you down.
Right.
Never had 3 times.
So you're in the lead with 3.
Yeah.
So you've always had what would you call it again? Like a...
Yeah, so basically, how I look at it, I've you know, if there was like a mind-altering substance, whether it's prescribed from a doctor, you get it over the counter, or alcohol, or drugs, you know, I've took it to change, to alter how if it instantly changes the way I feel, I would take it, and then once I started taking it, I couldn't stop.
Right.
And obviously, as an addiction, it's a progressive disease. So over time, it's just got worse and worse and worse, because I was a binge drinker.
Right.
It was like Fridays and Saturdays, then it was Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and before I knew it, it was kind of like an everyday thing, but I don't remember that transition from it going from a weekend thing to a day thing. But I was always the last one standing, and I used to think it was alcohol that was the problem, which was kind of like the gateway to like cocaine and things like that. But I went to rehab in 2020. I've been to rehab 4 times. The first time I went in, I just thought I had an issue with alcohol. Come out, and then about a year and a half later, I got some ADHD medication because I got diagnosed with ADHD, but I got told not to take the tablets because they're amphetamine and they're addictive. I didn't listen to what I was told. and with a 6-7 weeks taking them, I was crushing them up and snorting them.
Wow.
And that's how I got that. You know, that's how I ended up dry sniffing, which is then I got back onto the cocaine again in quite a big way.
So how old were you then?
It's got dark for me over the last 5 years, I should say. Well, no, when I turned 40, that's kind of when it grabbed hold of me. It was somewhere around there, because before that, I'd binge, and then my wife would say to me, "You're drinking too much. You need to have a month off." And I could have a month off easy back then, but then I'd have a month off, and then it's like I'd go out and celebrate because I've had a month off off the beer. It's like I had a pass to go out, you know, and that was like a bit of a rotation for years, and then. Like I say, it was I was a sociable, you know, drinker. I'd go out for fun. I used to love standing around someone's kitchen island at 4 o'clock in the morning, just putting the world to rights. And it just, you know, and it just progressed. And then, when I say progressed, that's when I was isolating myself, you know, pushing everybody away, wanting to just sit in and get, you know, hammered on my own. And it's, you know, it's just kind of spiraled. But they say, because I've been in rehab 4 times. And every time you relapse, you don't kind of think, right, you've got a fresh start. You go from the bottom and work your way up again. You just literally, you go back where you left off, if not 10 times worse.
But even after being in rehab, so how long were you in rehab?
I've been in rehab 4 times, so I've spent 16 weeks in rehab in total in the last 5 years.
And came out?
Well, first time I went in, I come out, did a year and a half, and then went back out, and I think I was on it for about 6 months. Went back in again, and then come out, and I lasted about 2 weeks. You know, it's just. But I've realised it only works if you do it for yourself, because I've done it to get family off my back, you know, my wife off my back, just to make everybody else happy, because I didn't think I was that bad. Because I used to say, well, everyone's as, you know, I used to say, well, he's just as bad as me. We're all as bad as each other. Yeah. Everyone does it. That was, you know, that was my. You know, what I used to say. So it was, I'd never really admit to how bad it was. But you know, I was the one that would be going home, taking it home with me, and just sitting on my own and doing it. And it just like escalated and got worse and worse and worse.
Wow. Right, so that's how Halt and Heal started then.
Yeah, more or less. Like I say, because I've tried to find every single back door. You know, I thought, well, I've got a problem with alcohol, it's nothing else. And then I started doing the cocaine, and then I put the cocaine down, and I was on prescription meds, because, like I say, because it's a mind-altering substance. Like I say, if it's in liquid form, prescribed from the doctor, over-the-counter medication like cocodamol, anything like that, I can't take it sensibly. Is it my go? Is it?
Oh yeah,
I can't take it sensibly.
So was there any form of alcohol, or you just beer, or spirits?
It was lager to start with.
That's all right.
That wasn't very good, that one. It was lager and wine to start with, and then that very first lockdown. If you remember, the weather was amazing.
Yeah.
And I was a tea time drinker really, and then my drinking went from tea time to like late afternoon, lunchtime. And then before I knew it, in that lockdown, I was drinking bottles of wine out the garage before anybody else got up.
Yeah.
And then my wife said to me, "You're drinking too much." And that's when I had like this fear of panic come over me, thinking, I can't stop anymore. And that's when I upgraded to the vodka, and I had vodka and on dog walks all over the place where I live. Wow, you know, quarter bottles, half bottles.
Yeah.
But you know, I thought that I was drinking vodka because you can't smell it, which you can't.
Right, yeah.
But if you have vodka and then eat, then that's when the alcohol smell comes out. Obviously, just drinking it neat without food, you can't smell it. So, and that's, you know, it just, like I say, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Like I said, I thought that was the problem, and then I went on to the prescription meds, and you know, Valium, diazepams, sleeping tablets, tramadol. You know, I used to go to the doctors.
Aren't they?
Yeah, I used to go to the doctors and manipulate the doctor to say I've got a bad back, I've got this wrong with me, that wrong with me, because I knew what tablets I was going to get from him.
Wow.
You know, and like I said, the last relapse I had, it was bad. I took loads of diazepam and Valium when I was in Thailand, and you know, I don't really think I should be here. To be fair, it was stupid amounts. And I went to rehab that time, and obviously, because when you're in addiction, you're not bothered about anybody else. You know, all you're bothered about is taking yourself out of reality and not having anything to worry about. and I was in a foreign country with my wife and my kids, and you know, anything could have happened to me. And to say that's where it had gone, and I went into rehab that time, and that was when I thought, you know, I need to sort my shit out now. And I did it, like I say, I did it for me, because it doesn't work. If you do it for other people, it doesn't work. And I come out and you try and fix everybody else, it doesn't work. And I come out before and then try to buy everything, so everything looked right around me, like the car, the watch, the clothes. That doesn't work. All this time around, all I've done is worked on myself. And because, like I say, because you know, I'm the most important person in this. You can't do it. You've got to want to do it for yourself. I have to get up every morning. I've got a routine to do. And you know, I've had to put boundaries in place. I've had to stop people pleasing. I've literally completely changed my life around in the last year, because I'll be a year sober on the 3rd of November. And like I say, thanks. And it's the first time. I mean, I've been sober longer before, but when that very first time when I did a year and a half, I was still on antidepressants from the doctors or anti-anxiety tablets. I still go to Boots and get cocodamol for a back pain. But like I say, that's where the relapse starts, because I've got a mind-altering substance in my system.
Yeah.
So, like I say, and what you know, what it means for me is I'm allergic to mind-altering substances, because it sets off like a mental and a physical craving in my brain for, you know, for more. So it's not the 10th drink or the 10th, you know, pill I've had. It's that very first one that does the damage.
Yeah.
Because it just gets in my head, and I can't, you know, it's like having an itch I can't scratch. And it, you know, and it just like puts you into like self-destruct mode. Yeah. And it was put really well to me when I was in rehab once, because they said, because I used to say, I just can't understand why I do it. I used to say to my missus, I'm going out for a couple of pints with the lads. I promise I'll be home at 9 o'clock, just 2 pints. And at that time, I'd have passed a lie detector, because in my head, everything in my body was saying I was going to go home. Yeah. I'd go out, and then I wouldn't come back till 9 o'clock the next day. And I think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I go home like a normal person? And it's because the allergies kicked in. You know, because once I've gone out and had that first sip or drink or whatever I've had, that's it, all bets are off. It's not me in control of it anymore. That allergies took over my body.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But like with alcohol, like for me, so I'm 100 days today.
Yeah, well done.
Like without any alcohol.
Yeah, well done, Will.
Cheers, mate. And for me, I liken it to, say there was a crate of beer there, I'm absolutely fine. Could just ignore that crate of beer. As soon as I have one, the whole lot going.
Yeah, that's
you know,
it.
And that was probably my problem. You know, like I said, I wasn't drinking in the week, so I was like, well, nothing's wrong. You know, a bit like what you said, nothing's wrong. But you know, like we said earlier, I was just getting into a routine of Friday drinking, getting up with a hangover, going to work, going shopping, having a shower, cooking dinner, putting the football on at say 2 o'clock, and then I can have a beer now. Then Sundays would be the same. But Sunday, can have a beer now.
Like rewarding yourself.
Yeah, because it's the weekend. I've worked hard, you know, and it just started to, you know, getting a bit too much, you know. And like I said, and I was just like,
the difference, what I can see, is absolutely amazing. I've never seen you so much on the ball.
Nice one. Well, I feel it. I still feel tired. You know, obviously tired through work and stuff like that. People say, "Oh, I bet you feel loads better," don't you? And I'm like, I don't wake up feeling like shit anymore. You know, I wake up and I go to work early now, and I'm, you know, on time and
on the ball.
And I'm on the ball with this, you know. I mean, like we've got a WhatsApp group chat, and I'm like, we need to, you know, I know I annoy people.
You and it will.
Is it me?
Yeah. Do you want to see? Shall we see if this works, Jamie? So
well, I'm still on 0. So
yeah. So you ready?
Go on then. That's nice.
There you go. Nice little strum. That. Here we go.
Oh
no.
Oh
no. And. No, it doesn't always work. Well, Jamie, you're still winning with 3.
I've actually been playing quite well.
We play this game, and
not today.
Like I say, as soon as that camera comes on, that's it. We just, we're rubbish, aren't we? Someone's got to hit a treble.
But like I say, no, it's like a reward system, because, you know, if you've had a bad day at work, you think I'll have a drink. If I've had a good day at work,
if it's hot.
Or if it's hot, I'll have a drink.
Yeah, I'll sit in the garden with a beer.
Yeah,
it won't be one.
You'll have a drink.
It'll be 12. You know.
Oh, that was terrible.
Yeah, we are. Well, there you go. I'll get in for a Jamie. That's brilliant.
Thank you.
Put your 4 up.
So how? Obviously, you went into rehab. Was it how many times you say?
4 times I've been in rehab.
4 times. Yeah. So what has been? How do you feel a lot different from how you're doing it now to how you did when you came out?
Yeah, because I've always thought my way will, you know, although whatever I've been told in the past, I've always thought, well, I'll listen to what you're saying, but I'll do it my way, and it doesn't work. But I've also feel like I've had to go on that journey because my head said to me I've only got a problem with alcohol, and then I put the alcohol down, then I started just doing the cocaine, and then I thought, okay, well that's what I've got a problem with. Then I put that down, and then I started on the prescription meds, so I've just like cross addicted.
Yeah.
But it's because I've not been happy with with myself. And it's like I say, if I can pull myself away to change the way how I feel instantly, then I'll take it. And it's like I want a quick fix all the time, but there's no quick fix to what I've done this time round. But even now, as good as I am, I mean, my head's in the best it's ever been as long as I can remember. I'm in the best shape.
You are looking healthy.
Thank you.
Beard's looking good.
Yeah.
I should have trimmed mine up.
You got a bit of beard envy, haven't you?
But you are looking healthy.
Physically and mentally, I feel the best I've ever felt. At least in the last 30 years, 20 odd years.
Because you're 48 now.
48, yeah.
48.
Yeah, 48.
You don't look 48.
Thank you.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You do look 46.
Thank you. So what about people around you then? How do they notice this bloke, he's...
Yeah, I mean,
like your closest... Are you still married or...?
I'm still married, yeah. I don't know how, to be honest. I mean,
she's a fantastic woman, obviously.
Yeah, she's been through a lot, but I think, she's said if it's not the... what do you call it? If you took the drink and the drugs out of the equation, I'm like the perfect person. There's no, I'm domesticated. I can cook. I wasn't a nasty person. It never made me nasty. It just made me like really daft. It kind of gave me like a bit of confidence and stuff because I've got this ADHD. I used to have like a really noisy head, and obviously when I took medication or drank alcohol, it shut the noise up in my head. So I've like self-medicated my whole life without even knowing it really. But I think if I was a different kind of person, then it probably wouldn't be there. But it's it's like I say, it's strange how it's all panned out. But and I started Halt and Heal now 6 months ago. Because I had to completely change my life. I've had to put boundaries up. I've had to stop people pleasing, and make myself the priority rather than making everyone else. And
very important, yeah.
Because I was a massive people pleaser, and I think I used to do that
I'm a bit like
to get people off. Jump over. I'd do everything for everybody else, and then I'd be resentful at everybody. Because I was angry at the world. Always. Yeah. I always like to say there's that saying that pour me a drink. I just never felt happy, I suppose. So I've come out this time and I've just, because it's kind of like say where my addiction's got to, it's like life or death for me now. And I've just had to completely change my life around, and that's why I started Halt and Heal, because I just thought I've got 30 years experience in addiction, because I've seen therapists in the past and psychologists, and they've been to university. I mean, they're good at what they do, but they've been to university, they've got a degree, but I can never understand them because they haven't got my brain, and I could never kind of relate. So that's why I do what I do now, because I relate to so many people that are like me, because I used to think I was the only one like this, and and especially men. I mean, we're like closed books, aren't we? We don't.
Can be, yeah.
We don't talk. I mean, I used to go in the house and you say, "What's wrong with you?" I just say, "Nothing, I'm fine." But I wasn't fine. I'd be screaming out in my head, or and I don't know what it is. I've got this thing about me where I don't have to say anything. If I'm angry or I'm pissed off with something, it's like I just radiate this ball of like nasty energy off me, and it just goes through the house. And I don't, and it's just, what's wrong with you? Nothing, or I'm fine. And it's not, that's not an emotion. So it's about talking out, your thoughts and your feelings, and it takes the obsession away, because I say, as good as I am now, I can still obsess over, I can obsess over work, I can obsess over going to the gym, I can obsess over getting my steps in. But I always set my standards too high, because it's like, because I try and do everything like what I think's expected of me, like doing it perfect, but perfect doesn't exist. It's doing it to the best of your ability. Yeah. And like I say, I used to set my standards and my goals too high, so I was setting myself up for a fail all the time, and I just used to beat myself up over it. So, for an example, I mean, 10,000 steps is a decent amount of steps.
Yeah, definitely.
But I had to do 15,000.
Yeah.
And then I'd get to, 9 o'clock at night when I want to go to bed, look at me watch and it said I'd done 14,500. I couldn't go to sleep. I'd have to go and run around the kitchen island or something to get my steps up.
Yeah.
But, when I'm doing that, it's like a form of cross-addicting because I'm taking myself out of why am I doing that? Because it's like an obsession.
Yeah.
So, I've just lowered my bar a bit, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it my go?
Yeah. You're all right, Jamie. You're still winning. Ooh. We're letting him win, aren't we?
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
we've come a long way, haven't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it helps you talking to other people about their addictions because of the lifelong experience you've got. So every time you're talking to someone, I guess it's helping you and your mindset.
Yeah. Like I say, as much as it helps everybody else, it helps me. It's like my medicine, really, what I do now. Because I've got my Facebook group, and I just write my thoughts and feelings down on there on a daily basis, make a post out of it, put a quote on, and it's kind of something that's relatable to me for that day. And it's kind of the work that I do on myself in the morning because it's about having, I have a routine. I get up. I used to, at one point, it was never manageable because I used to think, right, I've got to get up at this time, have my coffee at this time, do this at this time. And if anything used to fall out of sync, it's like, right, that's it, my day's knackered. So I'm a bit more blasé with it now, but I'm always up between, 4 and 5 o'clock. Wow. I'll go to bed at 9. Yeah. And then I need that time to, just have the house to myself. And
do you get to sleep easy? Does your mind sometimes racing, or you find sleep okay?
No, I fall asleep absolutely fine.
I wish I could.
Yeah, I didn't used to. But I fall asleep quite easy now.
That's important, getting good sleep in.
Yeah, but I'm always awake. I didn't wake up about 2, 3 o'clock for a pee.
I found that once I stopped drinking, I was waking up with felt like a hangover for about 2 weeks. I was like, what's going on here? But I think it was probably because I was drinking too much coffee, to be honest. But for ages I felt like that. I was like, that's weird.
Well, I say, because I've got ADHD, if I have a cup of coffee, I can have like 2 double espressos and go to sleep on it because it has the opposite effect on my brain.
Right, okay, yeah.
That's the same with like cocaine and ADHD meds, it's amphetamine. I could take that and it'd kind of chill me out, where most people that make them all hyper and nuts, it has the opposite effect on me. So, again, when I used to have a beer or something like that, it's like
that's better.
How I explain it to people, it's like having 20 TV screens on in your head, all at different volumes, never really knowing which one to tune into. And, and it's about getting in your head and shutting all those tabs down. So your head goes quiet, and then it's about having a routine on a daily basis, which I do. Anything that's annoyed me, resentments, any fears that I've got, I just clear them all out so my head's quiet. And it's it's the quietest it's ever been. But although I say I've put the drink and drugs down, I'm still an addict. I've still got that addict mindset, which will never go away, because it's like having I call it like the devil on your shoulder. And most of the time it's muted, but then other times it's whispering in my ear, and then sometimes it can be quite loud. And it's them sort of things. Well, you're coming up to a year sober soon. You deserve a pint now. You deserve a beer. You'll be all right. But that's the madness of it.
Yeah.
Because I can't. It's all right saying that, and you just think. Then all you do is think about the good times. Well, it wasn't that bad. But then when you really think about it, it's
mad how we're wired, isn't it? How people are wired different.
Yeah,
you've never, like you said, with like drinking, you're quite happy to just go out and have a couple of pints and be done with it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I know
like
now.
We've all had some addictions in our life. I think my addiction is just being untidy and unorganised. I think I've got addicted to that. I've got to pull myself together in a lot of ways. But yeah, you're right, and you think reward yourself, and with yourself with a pint. Let's have a pint. Reward
I can do it.
With the first podcast, and it was like, Christ.
Yeah, it nearly went wrong later. But I could not now have a pint. I could have a pint quite easily,
Just got to know.
Talking about having a pint now, you're kind of like, I could have a pint now. But I know that if I had a pint...
Non-alcoholic beers are all okay.
No, I won't even touch non-alcoholic beers. No point. There's no point.
No,
absolutely no point in that for me.
So when people come to see you with all your experiences, I bet it makes them feel really relaxed that they can just open up about anything. because they know that you've had similar experiences. Do you find that
it's quite mad really. It's it's like I talk to them. It's like God, it's like you're in my head. So it is nice. And I do a Tuesday meeting which is called Cocaine Anonymous, and then I do a Thursday meeting which is called Sober and Smiling. And anybody can come, and it's like you can be in say the Tuesday meeting's good. It's like a hybrid meeting, so I get about 20 people online, and there's generally about 4 or 5 people turn up, and some of the people you've never met before in your life, but it's feel like you know them because you've all got the same brains, and it doesn't matter how weird or twisted something comes out. It's like I get what you're saying. So it's quite a nice welcoming
nice
space,
relaxed for people to come in.
And I did, like I say, Halt and Heal, again, one of the other reasons why I did it is because I remember when I was in the early stages, I wouldn't have gone to a meeting because I thought because Skegness is a small place, I'd be like, who's going to see me? What are people going to think? What people are going to talk about it?
People know you,
and it's like I say, it's all that fear that you end up stuck in, and that's why I thought it'd be nice to get people in on a one-to-one basis in like a nice private space, and where they can say anything to me, and and then obviously then push them on from there if they do want to do.
Because you're not going to judge anybody, are you?
I'm not going to. I can't. I've been there, done it, got the t-shirt.
Yeah.
And and then obviously then they get a bit more confidence. You can then push them onto the meetings. Well, like I say, I always offer a first free session, and that's to make sure I feel like I can help them, and then 2, to make sure they're comfortable with me. And then after that, if they want to proceed, I generally say 5 or 6 sessions, and I can really help them and change them around.
So these people that have been in rehab before, and then when they come to see you, they're like, that you're what I need. You know what I mean? Rather than doing the usual way, if you like, because I think yours is it slightly unusual, like how you do things. Is it different?
I've got, like I say, I've got qualified as a life coach over the last few years, because I've been toying around with doing something eventually, but never had it set in stone. So over the last few years, I've done a life coach course, I've done a health and wellness course, and a neuroscience course. But like I say, as good as that for coaching. And I've obviously got insured as well for the professional indemnity insurance, so I can open up. But as much as I've got those courses, it's like the lived experience really that makes the difference. And I've been in rehab 4 times, and they have like a process that you go through in there. So I've kind of used a bit of that. And then to say everyone's different, it's really tailored to what that person is, what their addiction is. But it always generally boils down to the same kind of thing really. They've had some trauma or something like that when they were younger. And that's generally when when their addiction kind of kicks in or takes it to like another level. For me, I was about 14 when I started drinking, and there's still a part, because I've drank heavily since then, there's a part of my brain that's still like a 14-year-old child. Although I'm in an adult's body, it's not developed like the rest of my my body has. And like I say, I can have temper tantrums, and it's like it's like being a kid, and that's why, because I've not got my own way. I have a little temper tantrum, like stamp my feet. But like I say, it will catch up, especially now I'm completely clean. But it's like I've run away from my emotions, and I'm sure it's the same from back 80s and 90s. It's like learnt behaviour. So you go to a funeral, you drink. If you go to a wedding, you drink. If Christmas, you drink. Birthdays, you drink. Celebrations, you drink. I had a bad day at work, you drink. So it's like learnt behaviour that kind of goes through generations. And you just think that's the norm to do, but all you're doing is you're suppressing your emotions, and you're not kind of dealing with what's actually gone off. And all you do is it causes like knot in your chest. So when you get older, something happens, and it's not necessarily that thing there and then. It kind of takes you back to that kid, and you think, I don't like this feeling. I'll go and have a drink.
I also think like our generation, like growing up in the 90s, were big. The 90s were brilliant, really. But I can remember, probably like in Attleborough, in the 90s or the early 2000s, Thursday night was basically the start of the weekend. Everyone went out on a Thursday night. Remember, the pubs used to be packed and stuff. And I think before social media, before all that, that's how everyone socialised. Well, for me, because that was my age of growing up. And now with social, kids don't, people can't afford it as much, can they? So I do think there is a bit of a sea change. In my daughter, my son, their age. I think like when they get to our age, I I don't know, you're still going to have addictions and stuff like that, but I think the whole way of life will be completely different maybe from what we've gone through. Do you know what I mean? Where it's that drinking culture and it's a drug, you know, the rave scene like you were talking about earlier.
And disco biscuits.
Exactly,
Socialising as well, everything, you know,